YouTubers and cinephiles, welcome to another edition of Nerd with me, John Ricky here, and before we get into the video, do me a favor, look at the subscribe button under the video, click that if you're not already subscribed, and ding that bell so you can get more great content like you are about to receive. The latest edition in a legendary career for a premier auteur, director Spike Lee, ever so controversial with his subject matter, and he does not disappoint with this one. This is the man that brought you movies like Do the Right Thing, Malcolm X, 25th Hour. I mean, the list goes on and on. Each and every one of those films have been controversial, either involving race or social economics, so on and so forth. And he continues that trend with his newest edition, BlacKkKlansman. Now, that title itself sounds like an insane story. What do you think about whenever you hear that? BlacKkKlansman. That sounds like it's a continuation of that amazing Dave Chappelle skit from The Chappelle Show about Clinton Bixby. Plus, on top of the fact, one of the producers on this film is Jordan Peele himself, from Key and Peele, who just killed it with Get Out. You're still expecting it to be a comedy, sketch, comedy type of thing, but it is not. I mean, because the story itself just seems like it's ripe for a SNL skit, Dave Chappelle, so on and so forth, but it is actually a true story of a black cop, one of the first black cops in Colorado Springs in the 70s, who infiltrated the KKK. And the cop's name is Ron Stallworth, played excellently by John David Washington, who just so happens to be the son of Spike Lee's usual go-to guy, the legendary Denzel Washington. And I gotta tell you, man, he kills it in this role. He is amazing in this role as Ron Stallworth, along with Adam Driver, who, man, Adam Driver is steadily becoming one of my favorite actors. He pulls it out all the time, playing the character of Flip Zimmerman, who goes in person as Ron Stallworth, goes undercover physically as Ron Stallworth, while Ron Stallworth talks to the Ku Klux Klan over the phone. And of course, they getting good, and eventually Ron Stallworth, both played by Flip and Ron Stallworth himself, they eventually get the attention of a character that actually happened. This actually happened with the Grand Wizard at the time, David Duke, who's now a Republican senator or something like that. And it's just so crazy. You can't believe it's real. And on top of that, who's playing David Duke, you were so surprised about, because none other than Topher Grace. Yeah, Eric Foreman from That 70s Show. I mean, that's a completely 180 from what you're used to seeing him as. And he's playing one of the most evil people probably to ever walk the earth. But the crazy thing is, you see a picture of the actual David Duke and you put it alongside Topher Grace in this movie, you're like, oh my god, it's incredible that they basically look alike, but they're completely opposites. But in this movie, you believe him. Topher Grace is amazing in this film, and you know what? He should get a nomination for Best Supporting Actor. I mean, John David Washington should get a nomination for Best Actor. Adam Driver. It's the whole cast did amazing. I mean, Laura Harrier, who we last saw in Spider-Man Homecoming as Peter Parker's love interest, she is really good in the role that she plays as a Black Panther that Ron Stallworth has a relationship with. But what's really amazing about this movie is the fact that, like, you see both sides of the coin. Like, you see the white supremacist side, and you see them more as people. I mean, not great people, but like, they have their meetings, they have their families, and so on and so forth. And you see them more than just what they do as Klansmen. But at the same time, it's just scary because you never know. You're just like, oh wow, okay, that's it. But that's also a great thing about it, is that there's this big balance, and in between, these guys do evil, but they are people. And just seeing how dumb and ignorant this whole thing is, and that's one of the driving force of it. It's a driving force that and it's such a heavy movie that there is actually a lot of levity in concurrence with that ignorance. But don't get it twisted. twisted. This movie is not a comedy. It has comedic moments, but they're really balanced out, and you need that levity with the dark subject matter in this film. And the other thing that's just so really insane about it is that it feels familiar, particularly with today. This movie has come out right on time because it's just coming full circle. There's a lot of scenes that are very reminiscent of today, or technically, if they actually did happen, some scenes you're just like, wow, that really like foreshadow what's happening right now. Like the fact that David Duke is now a Republican senator or something, like, you know, got into politics. I mean, there's a whole bunch of questions that, like, would that happen? Would this happen? Anything, you know, it's a whole bunch of rhetoric and points that just seem to keep revolving. Like, you know, the world goes round, but eventually we come back to where we were before. It's a cycle, and that is the amazing way this film portrays that type of sentiment, that craziness, but it's just so palpable. It's unbelievable. But I will say there is a few pacing issues. You know, sometimes it seems like it goes on a little bit too long, especially around like the middle, but not too much, just like a little shave here, a little shave there. But all in all, the music's great, the production is amazing. You really feel the 70s, especially with the soundtracks, I mean, and conversation, so on and so forth. Everyone did great acting, and it's a beautiful, well shot, poignant powerhouse of a film. And on that note, I give BlacKkKlansman.
You had my curiosity. Now you have my attention.
Guys, forget the Meg. Don't watch the Meg. You know, see Mission Impossible, all that stuff, whatever. But once you get done with that, check out BlacKkKlansman, man. It needs to be seen. It's a film that needs to be shown, needs to be seen. I think it's one of Spike Lee's best films. Behind Do the Right Thing, Malcolm X is always going to be his magnum opus. 25th Hour was amazing. And this one is just, I would put it up there with those. Check it out. And on that note, YouTubers and cinephiles, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Nerd With Me. Y'all take care.